So I was scrolling on YouTube today, and I stumbled upon a video stating that David might be innocent. Now, do I believe that? That's a different conversation for a different time. That being said, we gonna watch this video.
Everybody is saying, well, it's gotta be him. What if somebody said, what a great way of framing David. Look at what David's done. He's written a song called Romantic Homicide. He's got this imagery.
Y'all, how much did David's management pay this guy to say this shit?
With a bloody shirt, right? He wrote a song about being obsessed with Celeste, right? People saw him with Celeste.
So a lot of the internet are now starting to think, wait, is David actually innocent? Because we'll be getting a lot of new evidence and we're starting to build a very good timeline, and it just doesn't really look like David has done it. So
I promise you that's not the truth, bro. Ain't nobody on the internet saying David's innocent. Unless I've really been like, I said I wasn't locked in. Maybe I just haven't been on the internet one bit since the last few videos. Maybe I just like have not been paying attention, but I don't think anybody said we gonna watch.
Let's get into it. So firstly, that TMZ clip from the intro, I'm actually gonna play you guys a full clip because he brings up some good points. If you didn't know who that guy was, that is Harvey Levin, and he's like the founder or CEO of TMZ. And let me tell you guys, TMZ have been on top of this story ever since it broke. They've been giving us all the secret information from the special sources, and now they're suggesting they have stuff that could potentially clear David's name, and then now the big guy at TMZ is saying he might be innocent. Let me just play you guys a clip.
Okay, I want to open a can of worms here. There is an impound report that shows that the car that had Celeste's body in it, that was parked on Doheny Drive, was first ticketed for being there. It was there since August 26th when it was first ticketed. And if it was ticketed, it must have been there even before that. It seems like that car was parked on that street for 2 weeks. How is that car sitting there for 2 weeks? Was it sitting there with a body for 2 weeks? David left for tour August 5th. So let me just make an argument to you.
He makes a really good point. One, he couldn't have been there. He's got an alibi. And then two, if the car's been sitting there since August, maybe he left the car unattended and somebody, like he said, thought of such a great opportunity to set up David.
Let's make an argument to you. If you were David, look at what David's done. He's written a song called Romantic Homicide. He's got this imagery with a bloody shirt, right? He wrote a song about being obsessed with Celeste. People saw him with Celeste. What if? And I don't know. Somebody said, what a great way of framing David. What a great way of framing David. You put a body of this girl that he was dating in his car and leave it there to get towed with all that evidence. Young Jackson is nodding yes.
I am nodding yes because this has been my theory for like the past week, and I've had people call me crazy. There is such a short window of time to where he could have killed her, dismembered her body, and left for tour.
He was gone August 5th.
He wasn't in the city. He wasn't in the city.
But here's the thing. Think about if he did it. You're going to leave a body in your car on a street for 2 weeks knowing eventually it's going to get towed and found.
Now you guys might be confused about what he's talking about with the parking ticket. Well, if you guys look on screen, so this is David's Tesla. This is what the parking guy took pictures of his car with the damages, whatever, and he gave him a ticket on the 26th of August for parking his car where he shouldn't be, because as we know, he parked his car away from his house. So to put in perspective, the car was inspected on the 26th and then first sighted the car on the 27th. So that's when he got the first ticket. He then got another ticket.
Bro, I gotta know what happened to his car to cause those damages, and why didn't he fix them? Because if I was like bringing in checks like David bro, my car never look fucked up ever, bro. The minute I get a dent, bro, that shit fixed, bro. Give me like 3 hours, bro.
Ticket on the 3rd, and then the car was towed and impounded on the 5th. So the first sighting of the car was the 26th, but that's only from the officer. So that means that car could have been there on the 23rd, on the 24th, on the 25th, or the 26th. I would say more so of 1 or 2 days before that, so maybe the 24th/25th. Now, David, he left on tour on the 5th of August. That's when his USA tour started. So technically speaking, he left for tour on the 5th and didn't come back until the girl was identified, which was around a week after the body was discovered. So I'd say like the 13th or the 14th the body was discovered, I think, maybe a little bit earlier. But he was away basically for the entirety of August. However, that doesn't clear him entirely, because if we actually look at his tour dates, I'll zoom it in for you guys to make it look easier. He had Philadelphia on the 22nd, Silver Springs on the 23rd, and then between Silver Springs and Cleveland, there is a 3-day gap. So, you know, he could have finished the Silver Springs show, flown back, been in LA at his house on the 24th, 25th, and then left for the Cleveland show on the 25th or the morning of the 26th. So it's still very possible that he killed her on the 24th, 25th, parks the car, and then the car got impounded on the 26th, 1 or 2 days later after he killed her. However,
it would low-key make sense though why he would leave the car, considering he couldn't be back there. So it's like, just leave it close to the crib, like no one's gonna mess with it, you know what I mean? And I could see why someone would think if they like leave a car, if they leave their car like parked close to their house, that it's not gonna get towed, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like plenty of times I've left my car or like one of the family cars like close to like my house, and it's been there, you know what I mean, for however many weeks I left it.
As this guy said in the comments, it's weird that the caller only noted a large dent in the rear, no mention of an odor. Now, of course, as we know, Teslas do have cameras, but I've heard a lot of people saying they don't record the entire time, and you need like a special USB drive to have it recording all the time and stuff like that. So for all the people in the comments saying like, oh, it's fine, the LAPD are going to get the recordings. Well, I don't think the Tesla is recording all the time. That would be like impossible. You would need like so much.
Bro, the Hello Kitty pimple patch is nasty work, bro. Like what?
And that storage costs a lot, even if it's stored on the cloud. Now let's show the comments from that TMZ Reddit post. So someone posted the TMZ clip on Reddit, and here is what people are saying. For him to say he could have been framed and not that he got someone to do it is crazy. And again, just to make it clear, as this guy in the comment says, don't care if he did it or not, he still dated a 13-year-old girl. Even if the defense is she lied about her age.
Bro, her family knew, bro. Ain't no she lied about her age. Ain't no none of that, bro. Her family knew he was allegedly paying people to keep quiet. Ain't no, bro. Ain't no he didn't know, bro. He was keeping it, bro. He's keeping it a secret.
Clearly, if he was paying people off in 2024, he found out her age if she was lying and continued being seen with her since. If not murder, he needs to get charged with something. Again guys, I'm not saying he's innocent for, you know, grooming and being a P-word. He's definitely still a kitty lover, a cupcake lover. I'm talking about more of the murder. Because my biggest issue is it's
a cupcake lover, bro. Shout out, or nah.
If he did do it, because he made songs he's obsessed about her, got a song called Romantic Homicide, got many songs and music videos where he mentions or shows someone being killed and then put in the trunk of a car, stuff like that. And again, if you guys didn't know, these guys were basically publicly dating. Look, here's an article TMZ did, and they actually spoke to David's friends. And here's what they said. Friends who partied with and knew singer David were under the impression Celeste Rivas was his girlfriend, and were shocked when news came out Celeste was only 14. Sources who party in the LA music scene tell TMZ they saw David and Celeste at parties and hangouts, and it appeared to them they were a couple. So people in the scene knew they were dating, so she was literally his girlfriend publicly. Not to us like public as in the fans, but to the people who were around the music scene. They were just boyfriend and girlfriend, and now she turns up dead in the trunk of his car. It will be quite obvious he did it. We're told some of them were under the impression she was a student at USC, which is like a college. The friends believe Celeste was around 19 years old and presented herself as such.
Bruh, nah, bro, nah. So you're telling me this 14-year-old was running around telling people she was in college, bro? Not only that she was in college, but that she was 5 years older than she actually is, bro. And it's crazy because she don't even look like that, bro. She don't even look that age, bro. I mean, I guess I understand why people would believe it, but it's just crazy that, like, bro was really moving around just telling people, yeah, nah, she go to USC. That shit kills me.
So that's why it's so confusing, because it's so obvious. That's his girlfriend, and now she was found dead in the trunk of his car. And that's why that guy at TMZ was saying, well, maybe he was framed. He's the perfect guy to frame. And now look at this Reddit post. Could this really be his Tesla key? Found literally right in front of his house this morning. I live pretty close to David's place, just wanted to go check out the area and ended up finding this Tesla key right in the gutter behind some leaves. Just spotted a Tesla letter shining out from under the leaves. Now this is very weird, this Tesla key found here.
That is crazy. That is crazy. So somebody, bro, or whoever was involved with leaving the body in the car, left the key right outside of his crib. Now that kind of does look like he got framed. I can't lie, because it's like, you can't get into the house, you can't put the key in the house, so just leave it right outside. It looked like he dropped it or something. I mean,
and this is David's house, I'm pretty sure. That doesn't look like David's house. Oh, I think it's the area around David's house. Now the guy said he did provide it to police for investigation. Now some guy in the comments said, okay, so is this why the car got towed? Someone was moving it every 3 days for him, so the car wouldn't get a parking violation while he was out of town on tour. That person lost their access key, and so they couldn't move it anymore. The person did not inform David that they have lost the key, or they did let him know, and he just thought it wouldn't be that big of a deal, or could have come up with a way to handle the situation. I mean, I doubt he had
That's a sound theory. That's a sound theory. I definitely think that's like valid.
Someone moving the car for him. I doubt anyone wanted to get involved in this murder, because realistically he could have just left the car in his garage or just left it in front of the house. Now,
bro, but for the right check anyone would, bro. For the right check anyone would, bro. Literally for the right check anyone would, bro. Like, if your homie really told you, hey, move my car around every 3 days so it doesn't get towed or a parking violation, and I'll give you 10 bands. Are you taking the 10 bands or are you asking questions? Like, be real with me, bro. Like, look me in the eyes, bro. Look me in the eyes and tell me you're not taking that 10 bands, bro. Because me? Sheesh. I'm going to get that bag by any means.
someone does bring up a good point about this entire theory that he is innocent. That means someone else would need a motive to kill her and also the keys to his car. I'm not buying it. Okay, now this is a very good post about her and also the keys to his car. I'm not buying it. Okay, now
yeah, no, I definitely don't hear like he was framed. I definitely think he just paid one of his homeboys to move that car around. Like the person was saying, that makes the most sense, bro. Really, like personally, if somebody offered me a large sum of money to do some sketchy shit like that, man, I don't care if it's my grandma in the trunk, bro. I'm gonna get my money, bro. No, I'm playing. Shout out grandma.
This is a very good post about the parking situation. August 23rd is a Saturday, so there was no sweep, and the LA do Monday to Friday bi-weekly. If Doheny swept Wednesdays, check streets LA City, so this guy checked when they do the sweeps. Last sweep was August 20th. Car parked around 2 weeks, August 6th to 20th, likely moved in post-sweep on August 6th, 7th. So he moved his car after the sweep around the 6th or the 7th, which lines up with his August 7th departure. Well, I mean, he left on tour, so he had Del Mar, Phoenix, and he had a gap on the 7th. I mean, Del Mar and Phoenix are kind of close, right? So I'm just checking on Google Maps. Del Mar, California, CA. So that's an hour and a half drive to LA. So that's close. Then Phoenix, Arizona, that's a 5-hour drive to LA. Now I'm presuming he took a plane. But yeah, it's close enough that he could come back on the same day, and especially he had a gap on the 7th, he could have flown back after the Phoenix show. So wait a minute, so the sweep finished on the 6th, so he could have come back on the 7th after the Phoenix show, killed her then, and then parked the car on the 7th, which lines up with his August 7th departure. Yep, exactly. There's a gap. August 7th. And then for the rest of this post, this here just explains that he was basically moving the whole car around so he doesn't get a ticket or citation. But I don't know, guys, if you actually think about it, framing someone is absolutely insane. Like, who would kill this little girl, Celeste? Why would somebody randomly kill this little girl? It makes absolutely zero sense. Because even if,
like, there's really no motive for somebody else to do it. Like, if there was a motive, oh, fuck. If there was, like, a clear motive why somebody else would want her X'd out, then I could understand that being a theory where he got framed, but I can't see that. Given the evidence, the hints he dropped, all of that, I can't see it.
If we look at David's behavior, think about it. The body was discovered whilst he was on tour. And whilst he was on tour, he was still throwing Labubu's into the crowd and performing as if nothing happened.
Throwing Labubu's into the crowd.
Guys, if you found out your girlfriend died and she was put inside of your car, wouldn't you be kind of freaked out and also very sad? Like, if I had a body found in the trunk of my car whilst I was on the other side of the country, I would put out a statement like, guys, I have no idea what happened, yabba yabba yabba. But no, it just doesn't make sense.
Honestly, I would not, bro. I would not. If he is gonna beat this case, whatever the case may be, say he did it, say he didn't, bro, the number one thing you gotta do is not put out a statement. Not put out a statement. But that being said, the fact that he continued performing and stuff, like everything was cool, looks to me like he knew that there was something up, or knew like about the body, or knew the details before we knew him. But if it was something that he hadn't heard about or he didn't know about, then he would probably be surprised and likely not perform. That would make the most sense.
And especially if he was innocent, wouldn't he say like, oh, I'm sorry at the passing of my friend Celeste? Now, of course, he kind of can't, because he can't admit that he was friends or even like, you know, girlfriend, like that was his girlfriend. He kind of can't admit to that. But yeah, I just doubt he was framed, because it's just, who would kill this little girl? Now, for the people are saying he may be innocent because why would he put the body in the trunk of his car? Well, we actually watched a video. We watched like a little clip in one of my other videos, and this detective, or he's like an investigator, he said, yeah, a lot of first time murderers, they put the bodies in the trunk of their car because they just don't know where else to put it. So yeah.
I've already seen some of the conspiracy theories come out, and one of the questions I saw is, who would be stupid enough to put the dead body in the trunk of their own car? And the answer to that is most murderers. Most people, especially when they kill for the first time, make a million mistakes. And this...
I understand this theory, but there are men who have murdered their wife and kids, so I think if you're truly crazy, then common sense is not being used.
That's a fact. That's really real, honestly. Like straight up, bro, if you would even put yourself in that situation where you're like involved romantically with a girl who is that young at the age that he was, you common sense and what makes sense, what's smart to do, what's a sound decision, it shouldn't really factor into your theory about, or not necessarily, it shouldn't factor into the theory about what happened or the thought process behind the decisions. Like, the minute you start trying to understand an insane person's thought process, you're thinking about it wrong.
Yeah, I actually think it's no good trying to understand David's actions, because realistically, yeah, we can't understand his actions because he's dating a little girl and now he's apparently murdered her. So I don't think we can like reverse engineer his psychology or something along those lines, like his thoughts. This guy brings up a good theory, I guess. David had a whole entourage who stayed with him, partied with him and hung around him, including Celeste. How possible is it that while he was on tour, they were taking drugs and she overdosed? Then they panicked, and to avoid being charged themselves, they hid her in David's car so he could take the blame. It explains why she would be in his car for that long, with David showing absolutely no urgency to try and hide her, with the body just waiting to be discovered. Now,
that makes quite a bit of sense. I like that theory. I mean, there's no way to like any of these theories, but like that theory is sound. I feel like that makes quite a bit of sense.
That is a good point, because think about it, the coroner or the doctor people, I forget their name, they've already checked her body.
the doctor people.
They didn't rule a reason for her death. Because think about it, if there was a slash to her throat, she was stabbed, her skull was broken, I don't know, her neck was broken, something along those lines, you know, from strangulation, they would have found that already, no? Because right now, the only thing we're waiting for is a toxology report, which I'm pretty sure is different from them actually looking for bruising or broken bones. I'm pretty sure they've already done that because they've already released the body to the family, which means they're done doing all the physical checks. They're just waiting for the actual sciencey experiment stuff to be finished, which can actually take a very long time, like a couple months, so don't expect that anytime soon. Which kind of helps with the theory that she overdosed, because if there was no physical damage, physical marks to her body, of course her body was badly decomposed, so maybe they couldn't see, but yeah, maybe she OD'd and they panicked and hid her body. Now I actually have another good video from TMZ which I'm going to play you guys.
To spend the rest of his life in a prison.
Maybe he did do it and wants to be caught. Again, we don't know.
I just said, maybe that's it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he did or didn't do it. All I'm saying is we're all coming up with theories.
Yeah.
And yeah, one is he did, but there's another that he didn't. Boy, you want to frame somebody?
Put it, yep.
Boom.
Put it in the car.
Boom.
And also, the car was moved as well, right? Am I getting that right?
Well, we don't know where it was between August 5th and around August 26th, because August 26th is when they found it when they ticketed it on the street. Again, it may have been there days before, but I know that street because I lived on that street, and they have street cleaning once a week, and they ticket you if you keep your car there.
That's the thing, like he must have been moving his car all the time, or maybe he literally just came back from tour and moved it, or he paid someone to move it for him. I don't know, we just don't have like a concrete timeline, we don't know the exact dates, it's very confusing.
Everybody is saying, well, it's got to be him, or not everybody, but a lot of people. But all I'm saying is he saying, catch me?
Possibly.
Well, I mean,
You know.
if it
I mean, that's definitely what it seems like, bro. This nigga's leaving Easter eggs and shit like that. Like, bro, he's making a puzzle for the fans to try to decipher, bro. Like I don't know, bro. Shit don't make sense.
is him, he's got to be saying "Catch Me" because he's written a song. He's written two songs.
Well, hang on. So, Romantic Homicide and Celeste, both of those songs, we have a general idea from a few videos that it's possible she was alive about a month ago, right? Romantic Homicide was released 3 years ago, and
Well, he had been, I got to tell you, he might have been seeing her since 23.
oh yeah, no, he
Damn.
possibly could have been dating her when he was 17 and she was even younger.
Yes.
But Romantic Homicide was released 3 years ago, and that song about Celeste was released way before she was killed.
No, I know, but did he know her then?
Yes.
Okay.
Pretty sure he did.
So when you've got that on your ledger, and you've got, and like we did
That was such a
yesterday,
funny,
when
like, snicker.
you were part of the story as we were working on it, you know, that they were at parties and everybody thought they were boyfriend, girlfriend, and everybody thought she was 19. So, you know, he's not hiding her, and everybody knows he's dating her, all the circle of friends, and he does what? Kills her? Puts her in his car and just leaves it? And if you go to the trouble of dismembering, I know this is gruesome, isn't that somebody who wants to hide the crime?
Exactly.
So then why wouldn't you burn that, bury that, hide that, but instead you put it in your trunk and leave?
Someone actually.
That's a good point, but I feel like the case is like he did want to burn it, bury it, / hide it, but right during that time he had to be somewhere else. Like he had to be in two places at one time. So he probably did what he could, like the best he could do at that time to keep shit hidden for the time he would be on tour. But I mean, I guess it makes less sense because why wouldn't you just cancel the tour? I don't know, bro. But it's like that's like a double edged sword because like you cancel the tour, it looks like you're hiding something or there's something going on with you. And if you go, then you're leaving yourself exposed to get caught.
They asked me, why has it not been ruled as a homicide yet? So I'm going to go into that. So I'm going to try to keep certain words out just for the sake of TikTok like banning me or flagging me. But manner of death is categories of death. So you have accidental, homicide, natural, undetermined, etc. And your cause of death is exactly what caused your death. So if it was an accidental death, it could have been a car accident. If it was a natural death, it could have been cancer. And in this case, she went down as undetermined because her body is too far in the decomposition process to know exactly what caused her death.
Wow, so I know we went from one clip to another clip. I didn't even speak after that other TMZ clip because this one popped up and I was like, I'll watch it and see what she says. But she brings up a very good point, which I kind of mentioned earlier. They can't find a cause of death. As I said, if they knew she was stabbed, her head was broken, whatever, surely they would have ruled that and they would have put that on her report. But on her report, it just says undetermined, so they didn't find any stab wounds, any damaged organs, but maybe they didn't find that because whoever put the body in the trunk got very lucky and she was left there for long enough that they couldn't tell who did it. So yeah, literally all we're waiting for is like her toxicology report, which I don't know what it gives us back, but I guess they can tell if she OD'd or maybe.
I feel like that that information is going to be very telling to what really happened because the theory that he brought up where it was like she OD'd and his entourage essentially like set him up so they wouldn't get in trouble makes a whole lot of sense. It makes a whole lot of sense because they would have had the freedom to like be around and move shit around and put him in the position where he would get fucked up, like where it would look like he did it, leave the key outside of his crib, all that type of stuff. And like no fingers really being pointed at them. And I feel like that's what we're going to see come up in the future, whether or not the toxicology report is conclusive or tells us anything or gives us any important information as far as what actually happened and the case goes.
Could give us a cause of death, something along those lines. As this guy said, looks like it's only up to CCTV or car or some other hard evidence like a phone recording, because clearly they're getting nothing from her body. Now this is a good post. I can see a way David only ends up only getting a few years for this. This is a massive post, so I'm only going to read a little bit. When the story first broke, I honestly thought he was headed for a death sentence. Abusing and killing a young girl is absolutely insane. The more I think about it and the more it comes out, however, and I hate to say this, I think he may actually do the impossible and escape with a life sentence. there is definitely a reason he hasn't been arrested yet, and why the police haven't yet said this is a murder investigation, despite Celeste's autopsy being done many days ago now. And basically just says like, from the info coming out, David may have not been in the vicinity, no exact time of death, David's been on tour, and the lawyers can use a timeline to their advantage, whatever. And maybe she died from an overdose, which takes off a murder charge. And in summary, they might not arrest him at all, or if they do, they might arrest him for, I don't know, messing with a corpse. Because I know they were in a relationship, but I think it would be very hard to prove they actually had done the stuff.
But here's the crazy thing, I think he might even get off on those charges too, because allegedly they got together when he was still 17. So then he wouldn't even have the statutory rape charge that would be expected for messing with somebody who was underage. That being said, like, I believe what the law is, if y'all get together before it's illegal and it becomes illegal at a certain point, y'all are both straight. So I don't even think, like, I could really see him getting off with like probation. I think that's gonna be my next video, is how bro could get away with this, because he definitely could.
Maybe they could charge him for kidnapping, but what if the family knew she was with him and they allowed him to go with her? But also maybe he paid the family, so that could be another charge. But actually,
that wouldn't even be a charge though, because if it's an understanding, then you're straight.
A good clip from Charleston White, and he said, how can they prove they actually had intercourse? I'll play you guys the clip.
Okay, but Unc, what about the vivid video of him and the 13-year-old linking up?
But Aiden Ross talks so funny, bro. I'm sorry, what?
13-year-old linking up.
How can we prove they had sexual intercourse?
What were they doing, Unc? Playing fucking Fortnite, bro? Come on.
Hey, maybe they were, bro.
Oh, I see. You're talking about the police. How do you prove it? I see. Okay, so we gotta just wait and see what happens, bro.
All I keep telling everybody, why would they let a black man in America? If we really believe the police is against us, that we're going through injustices, what black man get to walk around in America and tour as a millionaire when all the evidence says he's guilty? They didn't let Diddy do it.
That's true.
So I'm saying only maybe somebody else killed this kid because he even went to the police station to talk to the police.
So yeah guys, I think it would be very tough for the police to actually prove he murdered her unless they find a literal murder weapon. But again, they already searched his house.
That's a fact. That's really what it's gonna take. It's gonna take like real like video evidence of bro doing that shit, or like moving the body around, or whatever the case, or a murder weapon, and like eyewitnesses and stuff like that, for it to actually come to like him getting the 100, 200 years a lot of people feel he deserved. I honestly feel he deserved. I mean, I guess I felt he deserved, but seeing these new developments kind of makes me look at it different a little bit. Not a lot, but a little bit.
They found a murder weapon, a knife with blood on it, a knife, an axe, I don't know, whatever.
A bloody shirt.
Whatever, you get the point. Surely they would have arrested him already. A murder weapon inside his house, the body was inside his car. They would have arrested him, but they sweeped his house, nothing. They found the body in his trunk, nothing. And again, I know they're checking his devices and they're doing like DNA tests and they're doing a toxicology report, but I don't know. I don't know, guys. We'll have to wait and see. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Did David do it, or is he innocent? I guess we'd have to wait and see.
Bro, I still definitely think he did it. Well, whatever it turns out to be. At first, general consensus was like he killed her, chopped up the body, all of that, hid the body, everything. But now it's kind of looking like he might have not even killed her in the first place. And then he might have not even dismembered the body. So I'm thinking he did 50% of the shit they saying, and then the other 50 he probably didn't do, or like somebody else did. To that being said, I still think bro's guilty, bro. Ain't no way, bro. Ain't no way you look this guilty while being innocent. Like I just don't think that's possible. I don't believe in coincidences. I definitely think he did that shit. I appreciate y'all for watching this video.